Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition, a Joker Nessmuk rendition, if you will, of Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors. Guys, before we get into it, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats show that number is decreasing. However, anything above zero is unacceptable. Vets, we love you. You have a place here. We're back to Blue over here. Doesn't really give a shit what anybody else thinks. Make you say, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. Make yourself happy. How do you do that, Scab? Well, we try not to break the damn law, and if we do, we feel bad and we take responsibility. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. So here's the deal, guys. Today, this is the Joker Nessmuk. Now, we've done shorts all week. We've had some heartfelt talks and shit all week. Now we're back to our knife demonstrations, okay? We're trying to take some of the things we learned from the little test video we did and implement them, give you some different looks at the Joker Nessmuk. Let me give you some quick specs. The handle material, let's cover that first, is that Stag, and man, I absolutely love it. The blade has got about a 4-inch cutting surface, 4 1/4 overall. It's Sandvik 14C 28N. This knife is made in Spain. It is full tang. It's about 1/8 inch thick. It is a Nessmuk style. Let me say this up front. This is a knife I would buy. It is a knife I would own. It's one of those that I just absolutely love. This Nessmuk style. While I love it, I'm not incredibly proficient with it. If you remember back to the other Nessmuk style we tried not long ago. But in comparison to that Nessmuk and this Nessmuk, I think you can see getting a little more comfortable with it. This is the factory edge. Again, shout out to Timbo437. There will be a link in the description. Please subscribe to him. Now, here's the thing again. Is this a knife I would own? Yes. And I'm actually looking at buying one. I like it that much. I think about that much of it. It's awesome. Here's the other thing, guys. This knife for factory edge came incredibly sharp. I'm not just telling you that. We're proving that one cut at a time. Now, when I do my videos, here's the deal. And I don't know if I mentioned this before. I mentioned everything else 500 times, so I'm sure I have. But here's the deal, guys. I do my review as if this was a one knife option. Now, is it? No, because you can carry what you want. But what I'm saying is this. When I do a knife demonstration, knife review, I'm doing that under the impression that this is the only knife you can carry. That's the way I want to look at it. I don't really do comparisons. I don't do a lot of head-to-heads. We'll get into that. I'd like to do some of that. But I'm talking about when you see a Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors knife demonstration, knife review, whatever you want to term it, I am doing that with the thought and with the intent that this is a one-tool option. That's why we do a little chopping, a little slicing. That's why you see so many different tests. We're going to do stuff that I do at work. This one, we're going to cut some pizza, the Kongs and Bases pizza cutting challenge there. We're going to do a lot of stuff with this knife. Blade held up very, very well. We did come up with a little bit of a nick, not much. It didn't hurt the performance. But once you see 10 minutes worth, you'll understand. And honestly, guys, a little nick here and there, I expect that. Especially when we're cutting blast hose right there, when we do batoning, when we do these things, when we chop into a pressure-treated 2x4, I'm surprised we haven't got a little more nicks than we have. Is it fixable? Absolutely it is, and it will be. I'm going to send this one to DJ, get a brand new blade as a thank you to Timbo437, brand new edge, and I want y'all to understand, it's so minute the camera wouldn't pick it up, okay? Does it affect the cutting? No, not really, but I feel like I should mention it. But with our normal testing, that's going to happen from time to time. Now, this cut in particular, I want y'all to pay attention to. It sailed straight through that sandblast hose. Now, if you remember back to the last Nessmuk or Jessmuk or whatever you want to call that last one we did, I really, really struggled to cut this particular size hose. You see right there. The knife had no problems, and that's using this style blade a little more. Now, what we're doing is just trying to go from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other. When I say a one-tool option, here's kind of what I envision in my head when I set out to do give you a little psychology, a little behind the scenes, a little behind the music, if you will, of what I'm trying to set up. My thought process is this. You're at camp, if you're hunting, if you're at camp and you head out to do a late evening track and you get stuck out. JR told a story of breaking his ankle. He had to stay out overnight. So you're not going to carry a lot with you, especially if you're just doing a quick track. You're probably going to pick up a light pack, some water, your belt knife, and a rifle, okay? So in those terms, look at this knife. A lot of times we'll look at a knife and go, well, I could carry this or that. In these demonstrations, just bear that in mind. Hey, that's what we're testing it for. That's what we're demonstrating it for. Now, here's the John Peters stab test. I think we wound up picking up 2, maybe 3, but for a Nessmuk style blade, that's 1/4 inch sidewall of a tire. That's not bad, okay? It'll do the trick if you need it to do the trick. The lanyard, Timbo put the lanyard on and it came with it. See that? How comfortable that looks? It's insanely comfortable in hand. I can't speak enough to the comfort level of the handle scales. Now, nothing we did jarred the handles loose. They stayed on the whole time. And you'll notice this is the second time we're cutting this 2-inch toe strap. I made 3 or 4 cuts when we popped the truck. We're going to cut a couple times here. This stuff right here is uber tough, and I want y'all to note, the Joker with a factory edge is making quick work of it. Now here, what I like to do is check the sharpness of the tip. We check the quick penetration and then drag. Let's see what we got. Like butter, son, like butter. Old Scab's getting pretty good at it too. But here's the thing. I am a Spanish knives fan. As everybody knows, Karl got me a Geotech. I'm super excited to check that out. I've only tested or demonstrated a couple of Jokers. I can tell you this Joker right here is my favorite Joker. It's just comfortable in hand and it works well. That 4-inch cutting surface, 4 1/4, 4 and whatever inch overall blade, it gets it done, man. You can see we process up a lot of wood. We cut a lot of stuff. Would I be comfortable going out in the woods with this as a 1 knife option? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, because when it comes to food prep, that wider blade makes it a good slicer. The little hump on the back also makes it great for spreading jams, jellies, whatever, sandwich making, whatever you want to do. To me, this is an overall great little field knife. Now, we're just doing some light batoning here on some of that hardwood and processing up the wood pretty fast. And you see, for a smaller blade, this knife gets it done. What do we say? It's got a 4 1/2 inch handle, 4 1/4 inch blade. So it's at 8 3/4 inch overall. Not a huge knife, a good sized belt knife. It comes with a leather sheath. From what I saw, price wise, these go from anywhere from about $90 to $125, which to me is a great, great price. And again, guys, the reason we're doing a little chopping, just to see if it can. This is a pressure treated 4x4. We're going to just kind of do some quick light chops. If you had to make a shelter, if you had to make some tent stakes, if you had to do whatever, this knife will handle it. I'm telling y'all, I'm looking to buy one. That's how much I enjoy this knife. 14C28N to me is an underrated steel. It's a good steel. It holds an edge really well, or in my experience it has. Somebody I'm sure will disagree. Guys, right here, let me do a few shout outs. First being Timbo437, my brother. Thank you so much for guys like you and JR and Rusty who are willing to share your knives with the community. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Donnie B All-day, my brother from another mother. D-Bad's marching to 10,000. Get over there and subscribe. He's got some great videos up. My guy Joe is back making some videos, some quick hitters, just some really good stuff. Steel forged and fire. Sword and knife, shout out to Joe. And then Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. We're firing back up in earnest. I believe Brandon Thrasher is coming on this Tuesday. I believe that's correct. We're excited about that. And then shout out to Brandon Thrasher. Guys, listen, if you got a channel, put a link in the comments. I'm not a guy who is opposed to that. My guy Paul, Outdoors with Paul. I probably butchered that. He's a good dude. Check him out. Well, guys, listen. I love this night. Love y'all. Hope everybody has a great weekend. My boy Mikey says it best. Everything's going to be all right. And Mikey's true. I'm Scab. You're not. I'm gone, son.